Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrade.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody had a good trading day. So let's get into the technical aspect of the market. Today was the first day that the bulls can honestly say that they reclaimed a first level of supply in the last 3 months. Although the scoreboard was not as impressive as you would think, today was probably the most important day for the bull case in the last 3 months. It's one of those situations that on the surface, a novice or an uneducated trader will never understand how important today was. But if you look beneath the surface and under the hood, you realize, and again, if you subscribe to technical analysis like I do religiously, you could clearly see that this was the first time, literally the first time, that we closed oversupply, since right over here, literally from right over here. So you're talking about October, November, December. This is October the 4th. So we're talking about January 15th. So we're talking about 4 months, right? 4 months since we closed oversupply. And this is kind of a big deal because, again, we've been talking about this rejection level at this 162.50 level, 62.30, 62.50 level. And this is what happened this morning, okay? You could clearly see, here is the first move, right? Here is the first move. You can see the price here. It was a 62.15 level. And we talked about it this in the live webinar and said, well, you know, if you want to get short, this is probably the area to do so, 52.15, 52.30. And little by little, right, as technical analysis goes, and we say this all the time, we got the rejection, right? We got the rejection, and this is where the bulls really could have gotten rolled over. I mean, rolled over. They could have given up control very, very quickly, and we could have been having this conversation down 300-400 points very, very easily, and the market could have been down another 300-400 points tomorrow. Because again, that's what happens if the ramifications are met with technical analysis. And you started seeing this rejection off the 5-minute moving average, right? And it kept on going lower and lower and lower. And, you know, the Qs faded like 70, 80 cents, okay? And we kept on talking about it. This is not good for the bulls. And if we start seeing a confirmation, and I tweeted this earlier, I said, if we see this confirmation, okay, and we start going below this 61.24. I think I tweeted this out. If we start getting below that 61.24 level, the bulls are not going to want any part of what this market's going to give them. But you got to give the bulls credit where they're due. Again, I'm not a bull. I'm not a bear. I'm a technical analyst, or at least a technical chartist, and I believe in technical analysis. And you know, from there, you can see just on the 5-minute chart how the market really started getting aggressive, and then you started waiting for the Brexit, right? The Brexit vote, the Brexit vote, the Brexit vote. And I kept on saying the bulls need to close over 62.20, need to close over 62.20. The bulls better not give up that 62.20. And then next thing you know, the Brexit vote comes out. It's actually a worse vote than anticipated. And the Qs literally go from like 162.50 all the way down to like 161. This is talking about $1.50 breakdown right away. And then you started seeing, oh, here we go again. The greatest part about what we saw here was the bears got trapped, right? They got trapped right at this bottom channel here. And instead of rolling over and again, playing dead and, just giving up the bull market scenario, you got to give the bulls a lot of credit. They woke up, they shook off the Brexit news. And once again, especially on the close, they reclaimed the 50-day moving average. And again, first time in 4 months, very, very bullish. Obviously, tomorrow we're going to gap down 400 points. But in case we don't, right, the bulls really need to learn how to live with prosperity now. Again, if you believe in charts and you believe in technical analysis and the theory that stocks trade from supply to supply and demand to demand, well, now we just, overtaken a major supply zone. So now you have a measured move to 65, then 66, 67. Again, as we say, don't put the cart in front of the horse, but for the bulls to really start spreading their wings, probably in the second half of the year, we're going to have to close somewhere around this 175 area to really, really put a hole in the bear case scenario. But again, great job by the bulls today. Bears dropped the ball for sure. They could have gotten the rejection. We could have went lower. And it looked like for about a 20 minutes period that the Bulls dropped the ball as well when we started getting, when we started almost going red on the day. But again, hats off to the Bulls. The only tricky part about today's session was we knew how significant it was. And you could clearly see once we got rejected off of the first area of supply, we kind of knew that, we kind of knew what was going to happen next. The only problem with trying to anticipate what's going to happen next, sometimes stocks will paint a different picture. And we started noticing that Tesla got stronger. We started noticing that Amazon got stronger. I mean, Netflix, forget about it. Goldman Sachs gave them a $400 price target. We saw Apple getting stronger. And this is as the market started to fade. And again, the one thing which is pretty clean as day, I always say, if things don't go down, well, they must go, right? And slowly but surely, we started getting some pretty decent pivots. The only problem with today's session was there wasn't a lot of them, okay? There was some good value today. NVIDIA to the long side, NVIDIA to the short side, Tesla to the long side, Amazon to the long side. We'll show you the pivots in a second. And we had a bunch of rejection plays. I know a lot of you guys, when the futures, when the Qs got rejected, I know a lot of you guys had Apple a rejection, had Facebook a rejection. So a lot of you guys did great. For all you guys who are in the live feed, you guys don't see that. Okay, only thing you guys see are the natural pivots. But in the live webinar, we have a lot of really unique plays. They're based off supply and demand, and great participation once again in the live webinar. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it right from the word go. So again, like I say, there are no picking and choosing, guys. Whatever the day is what the day is. The only thing sometimes I just forget to put a few pivots into the Twitter feed or the stock Twits feed, because again, sometimes things get so aggressive. That's what the live webinar is for. Everything's there for us. But the only one I didn't put in today into the Twitter feed was the first NVIDIA trade, and here it was right over here. We talked about this thing pre-market. We talked about this one pre-market right here. Here's a 60-minute channel. We talked about the sneaky pivot here, 142.45. It went to like 142.70, right? Took the pivot, put in initial highs, retraced, and once it went through that second entry, stock put up about a 75-cent move, and then it really started rolling over. We'll talk about the rollover, the second pivot, in a second, but things got really good very quickly as well. This was the big one. I mean, how great is the stock? Yesterday, and again, this is what we talk about. There is no bias in the stock. There shouldn't be any opinion besides how good the pivot is, either long or short. And this one we talked about, 341, huge area. I go, that's the 60-minute supply. It needs to reclaim that area to go. I mean, this thing exploded. I mean, really exploded. Congratulations for you guys who caught this. I took it a little bit late. On the improvement of the futures, but again, still very, just again, here's the whole supply here at 41. This candle broke it. This candle confirmed and it exploded. Some really good move. The highest it went to like 348.80. Big move there. Team never pivoted. General Motors never pivoted. APTV never pivoted here. This was a pretty good trade. Pretty seamless trade. I bought it at 16.50. I think my highest sale was it 16.59 or 58. That was my highest sale. I made like 8-9 points on the move. And again, here's the trade. Here's the trade. And a lot of you guys did well, right? So here's the trade right here. Here's the top of the supply zone here. Here's the top of the supply zone here. And here's that first candle. Here. Nice move. I mean, really nice move on Amazon as well. And then you had this pivot right here. Okay, so we started seeing a lot of the semiconductors getting weaker and weaker. Again, it's all about value, guys. And we talked about this. It's held the 50-40 3 times on the 60-minute. If it starts building below, it can flush. And if you look at the 60-minute view of NVIDIA, and again, this is why we talked about it. Here is the 150, 150-30, 150-40, 150-40, 150-30. So once it started building below, I mean, it came all the way into like 149.13, especially when the market started backtesting very aggressively off that Brexit news. So, again, it doesn't make a difference. Sometimes you take it long, sometimes you take it short. But most important thing is that you are validating the entry on both sides based on futures, based on market sentiment, all that good stuff. So I think that the bulls did a very, very good job today. First time I can say that in 4 months. And now, again, like we say, the bulls need to show us how, they could live with prosperity. Again, that's the name of the game. The last thing you want to do for tomorrow's session is gap up, right? The last thing you want to do is gap up, get below the 50-day moving average, and start, really taking out today's low. That's going to be a big, big no-no. And that's the last thing you want to see if you are trading on the long side or just trading in general. Because again, if the futures start building, we could get a push here in the next several days or maybe even a week from now, all the way back up to the 65, 66 area. Again, stocks go from supply to supply to supply to supply, so forth and so on. So good session with the bulls. I'm really, really impressed by the development of so many people in the live webinar. We really have an awesome, awesome group. Again, as you guys see, especially new guys, there's nothing random that we do. I mean, there's really nothing random we do. We don't put out 20 trades a day, 10 work, and we're celebrating. These things are supposed to work. That's the whole point. You're waiting for them because there's only 6 candles of the day. And when these candles confirm and you have a very, very clean path to the goal line, usually good things are going to happen. So again, a lot of people are turning around and saying, well, a lot of these stocks had a big, big run. Now it's earnings season. And absolutely, it is earnings season. You have JP Morgan reporting today. Okay, nice turnaround. They were down 3, nice turnaround. You had Citibank reporting yesterday, had another big move. Now you got Goldman Sachs, the last of the Mohicans going into tomorrow's session. I think if the bulls can withstand any bombshell, which I don't think it will, Goldman's usually going to do very well in their numbers. Again, how the stock reacts is a whole different story. But the fact that the bulls are buying the dips on the Citibank, buying the dips on the JP Morgan into earnings is a very, very good bullish sign. So we have Goldman going into tomorrow. And then the big one is going to be Netflix, right? Kicking off beta season. I get it, right? I get it. The stock in the last 2 weeks has gone from 230 to 350. I get it, right? I get it, right? I get it. Just in case you didn't get it, I get it, right? But again, there's no such thing on the surface. Yes, it looks like it wants to come in. It looks like it wants to go down $30, $40. Are the earnings priced in? Blah, blah, blah. We don't know. We don't know. It's like the people during the .com era when Amazon went to 100. Oh, it can't go to, it can't go to 150. Oh, it can't go to 200. There's no way it's going to be at 300. 500 is definitely the maximum. There's no way it's going to go to 500. Again, guys, your opinion, my opinion mean nothing. Means absolutely nothing. Fair value is the last price of the trading day at the close that somebody is willing to pay. That's it. It's fair value. Again, on the surface, can the stock drop down to 315? It should, right? It should. But again, a lot of things should happen in life, and unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. What we want and what the reality is are two different things. So again, Netflix will definitely kick off earnings season Thursday for the beta names, and we should get a lot better idea of what Amazon, Google, Facebook, and all that good stuff is going to do. So obviously, I am bull biased tomorrow. Bulls don't let me down, but I am bull biased in tomorrow. So let's talk about some ideas, some good looking charts for tomorrow, and let's talk about them. What I started to do more and more, by the way, I started putting, if you guys notice on the watch list, I started putting in a lot of ideas from the people in the live webinar because, again, I believe in building confidence in traders, okay? I don't think people enough, just in life and generally, like to compliment people. I love to see talent work. I encourage talent. So I love to put ideas that other people provide in the live webinar in these updates because, again, I want to show them how much they're appreciated and how really effective you can be when you start believing in your own ideas. So kudos to that. Zen, great setup. I think it was Ross who gave us the idea. Beautiful setup. ZEN, this is a whole number break. Watch the build over 64. I was about to say 164. Watch the build over 64. IBM, again, you got a whole number break coming off a bottom channel. 122 build on IBM. Again, what are you risking? A quarter, right? Stock closed at 121.73. You're buying it at 122. You got a 25-cent risk on a $120 stock. You're risking 25 cents for a possible $2 move. Again, no brainer there. I like this AXSM. I actually put this into the live webinar today. at 790, $8, and ran to 820. If this thing can reclaim tomorrow, if all you guys are trading these smaller cap names, if it can reclaim 820, 825, it could run. So keep an eye on that. Amazon. Love Amazon. Love Amazon for tomorrow. Good scalp today. I love Amazon for tomorrow. If we can get a down open tomorrow, if it can reclaim 1680, I think the stock goes to 1705 and then 1750. So for all your option players, get your ducks in a row there. I love that setup as well. Boeing. I like Boeing, right? I like Boeing. Boeing, again, setting up beautifully. If you can start building above 355, 354, 50, 355, look how much room you have. You have rooms all the way up to the 1600, 360 area there. And ENDP. ENDP looks pretty good as well. Bottom chart coming up here. You can start at 970, but it really needs to build over the January 8th candle of 982. And if it does, you could get a move to like 1030, 1040. So guys, good job. Again, good job today. It's all about value and it's all about quality. Great effort, everybody. For all you guys who are on the live feed, if you want to get that really true hands-on personal touch traded development, that's the place to be. If not, folks, have a great night and I'll see you on the feed. Take care, guys.